How's it going? How's it going, all? How is the camera vantage point by you? Is it a little bit distorted, or can you see me successfully? It's a little hiccupy. Oh, this is better. Maybe this might be the trick. Okay. Let's give this a whirl. Awesome. Alrighty. The camera lens is playing a dyslexic trick on me. So let's see if this does the trick, then we have liftoff. we are cheered to hear right now is the overture to the Jules Stein musical Gypsy, lyricized by Stephen Sondheim. We are honoring Stephen Sondheim's 90th birth year today. Ta-da! So what we were just cheered to hear is the overture to Gypsy, composed by Jules Stein and lyricized by Stephen Sondheim. So Stephen Sondheim was born on March 22nd, 90 March 22nds ago, and in honor and in just so much cheer for his 90th year, I thought I could devote this afternoon to all of his enchanting melodies. And actually on Sunday night there was a very, very, very special tribute. All of the veterans of the Broadway stage performed from their screens to ours, so feel free to YouTube it. It was just marvelous. And so without further ado, here is our first selection. So today we will be hearing compositions from Sondheim. Predominantly everything we're hearing he both lyricized and composed, but at the very minimum he lyricized. So, ready for our first selection? So for the first selection, I thought I would, I guess, recite in chronological order ish. So the very first will be in a cappella format, and so this is from West Side Story, which, as we all know, was not composed by Sondheim, but it was Leonard Bernstein was responsible for that, but Stephen Sondheim was responsible for all of the riveting and enchanting lyrics we're about to hear from Maria. The most beautiful sound I ever heard. Maria, 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 Maria. All the beautiful sounds of the world in a single word. Maria, 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 Maria. Maria, Maria, Maria. I've just met a girl named Maria, and suddenly that name will never be the same to me. Maria, I've just kissed a girl named Maria, and suddenly I found how wonderful a sound can be. Maria, say it loud and there's music playing. Say it soft and it's almost like praying. Maria, I'll never stop saying Maria, 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 Maria. Say it loud and there's music playing. Say it soft and it's almost like praying. Maria, I'll never stop saying Maria. The most beautiful sound I ever heard. Maria. So just, such an enchanting ballad from West Side Story. They're also enchanting. This particular selection I thought lent beautifully to the a cappella stage. So the next selection, so this particular, actually this piece, and for those who are joining us and just trickling in now, we are honoring and celebrating the 9-decade birth anniversary of Stephen Sondheim, which actually took place on March 22nd, but on Sunday night it was really globally and collaboratively acknowledged, so I thought how fitting, let's just continue on with the celebrating. So all the selections we're hearing this afternoon were at the very least lyricized by Sondheim, but in fact most of them were both lyricized and composed by Sondheim, so this next selection was both birds. Isn't it rich? Are we a pair? Me here at last on the ground, you in midair. Where are the clowns? Isn't it bliss? Don't you approve? One who keeps tearing around, one who can't move. Where are the clowns? There ought to be clowns. Just when I stopped opening doors, finally knowing the one that I wanted was yours, making my entrance again with my usual flair, sure of my lines, no one is there. Don't you love farce? My fault, I fear. I thought that you'd want what I want, sorry, my dear. But where are the clowns? Send in the clowns. Don't bother, they're here. Isn't it rich? Isn't it queer? Losing my timing this late in my career. But where are the clowns? There ought to be clowns. Well, maybe next year. Send in the clowns. I feel from one of Sondheim's most whimsical musicals, A Little Night Music. It's just you just want to squeeze its cheeks. It's just a darling little musical, just little treasure. And yes, so Sondheim both lyricized and composed what we just heard. And now we are going to fast forward maybe not even a decade to Company, which I guess you could say arguably it's maybe his most recognized and admired musical, mainstream, for contemporary musicals of his, of course, because we shan't not forget about Anyone Can Whistle. Alrighty. Onward to our next selection. Here's to the ladies who lunch, everybody laugh. Lounging in their caftans and planning a brunch on their own behalf. Off to the gym, then to a fitting, claiming they're fat. And looking grim, 'cause they've been sitting, choosing a hat. Does anyone still wear a hat? I'll drink to that. And here's to the girls who play smart, aren't they a gas? Rushing to their classes in optical art, wishing it would pass. Another long, exhausting day, another $1,000, a matinee, a Pinter play, perhaps a piece of Mahler's. I'll drink to that. And one for Mahler. And here's to the girls who play wife, aren't they too much? Keeping house but clutching a copy of Life just to keep in touch. I'll drink to them. Let's all drink to them. Here's to the girls who just watch, aren't they the best? When they get depressed, it's a bottle of scotch plus a little jest. Another chance to disapprove, another brilliant singer, another reason not to move, another vodka stinger. I'll drink to that. And here's to the girls on the go, everybody tries. Look into their eyes and you'll see what they know. Everybody dies. A toast to that invincible bunch, the dinosaur surviving the crunch. Let's hear it for the ladies who lunch. Everybody rise, 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 rise. That was dedicated to Elaine Stritch, who really, she really blew that one out of the ballpark, all the way back in the 60s, really. So that, what we just heard was The Ladies Who Lunch, a very, very affectionately lovable hit from Company, Sondheim's Company. And Sondheim casted a whole bevy of leading ladies. So Patti LuPone made that super duper famous, that number, along with Elaine Stritch and just oodles of others. There are so many other vocalists, but we'll devote our time to the next selection. So the next selection is also a contemporary fave of Sondheim's from also just such a lovable musical, Into the Woods, also very enchanting with enchantresses. And I hope you adore this next ballad. Mother cannot guide you, now you're on your own. Only me beside you, still you're not alone. No one is alone, truly no one is alone. Sometimes people leave you halfway through the wood. Others may deceive you. You decide what's good. You decide alone. But no one is alone. Mother isn't here now, who knows what she'd say. Nothing's quite so clear now, feel you've lost your way. You are not alone, believe me, no one is alone. Say the slightest word, something's bound to linger, be heard. No one acts alone, careful, no one is alone. Fathers, mothers, people make mistakes, holding to their own, thinking they're alone. Fight for their everybody makes, honor their mistakes. Just remember, someone is on your side, someone else is not. While we're seeing our side, maybe we forgot. No one is alone, truly they are not alone. Things will come out tight now, we can make it so. Someone is on your side, no one is alone. They are not alone, truly no one is alone. No one is alone. So from Into the Woods, and it's just such a cherubic, just adorable little dialogue between Cinderella and Baker and Little Red Riding Hood and Jack. It's a real comforting piece. And actually, the last time I sang that was, I think I wasn't even double digits. So it's a lovely reunion because the musical's been around forever and ever and ever. So delighted to sing that for you. Okay, so we're winding now back to the 60s. Could be, who knows? There's something to any day, I will know right away, soon as it shows. Gleam in its eye, bright as a rose. Who knows? It's only just out of reach, down the block on a beach, under a tree. I got a feeling there's a miracle due, gonna come true, coming to me. Could it be? Yes, it could. Something's coming, something good. If I can wait, something's coming, I don't know what it is, but it is gonna be great. With a click, with a shock, phone'll jingle, door'll knock, open the latch, something's coming, don't know when, but it soon, catch the moon, one-handed catch. Around the corner, or whistling down the river, come on, deliver to me. Will it be? Yes, it will. Maybe just by holding still, it'll be there. Come on, something, come on in, don't be shy, meet a guy, pull up a chair. The air is humming, and something great is coming. Who knows? It's only just out of reach, down the block on a beach. Maybe tonight, maybe tonight, maybe tonight. Courtesy of West Side Story, another just romantic ballad, but really a soliloquy. If anything, just beautiful. So let's see. Oh, I also have some lovely Broadway factoids, as I nickname facts, factoids and trivia for the closing of our program. So I'll reserve that for the end. We have a few more numbers. So the next number is also, we're going to fast forward, maybe not even a decade, to Stephen Sondheim's Follies. The sun comes up, I think about you. The coffee cup, I think about you. I want you so, it's like I'm losing my mind. The morning ends, I think about you. I talk to friends, I think about you. And do they know, it's like I'm losing my mind. All afternoon doing every little chore, the thought of you stays bright. Sometimes I stand in the middle of the floor, not going left, not going right. I dim the lights and think about you. Spend sleepless nights to think about you. You said you loved me, or were you just being kind? Or am I losing my mind? All afternoon doing every little chore, the thought of you stays bright. Sometimes I stand in the middle of the floor, not going left, not going right. I dim the lights and think about you. Spend sleepless nights to think about you. You said you loved me, or were you just being kind? Or am I losing my mind? Losing My Mind from Follies. No pun intended there. So before the next number, I would love to share in honor of the overture we heard a little bit earlier, I'd love to present to you, this is Ethel Merman singing Everything's Coming Up Roses. This is a live on stage performance, so a little moratorium before the next number.
Ethel Merman.
see you on here, Norma in Melvinville. What a treat. So that performance was actually performed in Perry Como's Craft Music Hall on October 5th, 1960. Wow. Wowzers. So it's also celebrating a milestone anniversary now that we're in 2020. So for our finale piece, this is so everything that we've heard this afternoon, some actually were new additions to our program today. Others were reviews from other previous sessions. So this next number actually has been a special request, so I'd love to honor it again. And it's very apropos to close the vocal section of this with this piece. Also from Company. Someone to hold you too close, someone to hurt you too deep, someone to sit in your chair, to ruin your sleep, to make you aware of being alive. Being alive. Someone to need you too much. Someone to know you too well. Someone to pull you up short, to put you through hell, to give you support, is being alive. Being alive. Being alive. Someone you have to let in, someone whose feelings you spare, someone who, like it or not, will want you to share a little, a lot, is being alive. Being alive. Someone to crowd you with love, someone to force you to care, someone to make you come through, who'll always be there, as frightened as you, of being alive. Being alive. Being alive. Being alive. Somebody hold me too close. Somebody hurt me too deep. Somebody sit in my chair and ruin my sleep and make me aware of being alive, being alive. Somebody need me too much, somebody know me too well. Somebody pull me up short and put me through hell and give me support for being alive. Make me alive. Make me alive. Make me confused. Mock me with praise. Let me be used. Vary my days. But alone is alone. Not alive. Somebody crowd me with love. Somebody force me to care. Somebody make me come through. I'll always be there, as frightened as you, to help us survive. Being alive. Being alive. Being alive. So, as far as company is concerned, that's definitely, that was definitely Sondheim's showstopper of within the company of his company on the company stage. So, really a stamina piece. And that concludes our vocal numbers for this afternoon. I would love to present, speaking of showstoppers, some show-stopping factoids and trivia before we sign off. And there's 45 of these, so I'll sift through and forage the ones that, we can dream away with. So let's see. So this is actually, even though this isn't a Sondheim musical, Wizard of Oz. So, an operatic wizard. While most people are familiar with The Wizard of Oz through the 1939 film starring Madame Garland, Liza Minnelli's mother, what a concept, right? The book originally took to the stage in 1902 as a vaudeville-type operetta. The show contains 60 songs and had significant changes from the book, including the physical absence of the Wicked Witch of the West, a smaller role for the Cowardly Lion, and a cow named Imogene in place of Toto the dog. The show was a hit, however, only ran for only 293 performances, which 293 is a wimpy amount compared to the thousands upon thousands that we've seen, from Cats to Phantom to The Lion King, Les Mis, that's all. It's kind of fascinating that the Cowardly Lion was a tertiary role, because in the film, my goodness, he just carries the torch. He's really the breath and butter and bread for the characters. So it's super, that's fascinating. So the next factoid, we're actually celebrating also a milestone anniversary for the opening of A Chorus Line. On July 25th, 1975, A Chorus Line opened at the Shubert Theater on Broadway. The show told the story of 17 dancers competing for 8 spots in a Broadway chorus and was based on the shared stories of real-life dancers. It loosened the rules for how musicals had to be structured and showed that monologues and songs could be their own plot if they were centered on a single idea. It remains the 6th longest running show on Broadway after 6,137 performances. Yeah, Chorus Line really, that was the, certainly the token primitive musical. That was, if you look up Broadway musical as far as the pioneering musicals in the dictionary, a Chorus Line would certainly be listed. Let's see, another factoid. We'll do a couple more. Edelweiss from The Sound of Music is the last song that Rodgers and Hammerstein ever wrote together. I think we had highlighted a couple sessions ago on the musical, one of the musicals that was Rodgers' departure, but this is actually both Rodgers and Hammerstein's departure together was Edelweiss. Hammerstein was suffering from stomach cancer while working on the show. Yeah, he definitely had a premature death. Sorry to sound macabre, but that's very interesting. Edelweiss, wow, that was their finale composition together. And we also have Now and Forever. Before being surpassed by The Phantom of the Opera, another Andrew Lloyd Webber musical held the record for Broadway's longest running musical, living up to its tagline, Now and Forever. The musical Cats ran on Broadway from 1987 through just 14 years ago, and is now the 4th longest running show both on Broadway and, of course, lest we not forget, London's West End, which is really comparable to Broadway. The shows that perform there are very much on par with Broadway. And let's squeeze in one more. So speaking of Cats, the show-stopping song Memory from Cats has been recorded more than 150 times. Covers include Barry Manilow and Barbra Streisand, even Bette Midler. I'm just remembering Bette Midler too, and just dozens upon dozens of vocalists. Really, many of the Broadway stage phenomena have chanted Cats. And okay, finale Broadway factoid trivia, because we must pay homage to who we're celebrating this afternoon, Stephen Sondheim. So Stephen Sondheim's musical Into the Woods features characters from a number of fairy tales, a whole colossal of them. An early draft of the show included Rumpelstiltskin and the Three Little Pigs, both of which were cut from the final show, so that's wild. And in the 2002 revival, 18 years back, the pigs were briefly restored, so they rekindled them just for that revival. So it really goes to prove that it's very much bearing on who's stage managing and who is the musical director and arranger for a revival, because they really have the liberty to just kind of trial and error everything. So I wish to thank you all kindly for showing up today or following us over the next days. And as always, it's been really such a treat to sing for you, and from my screen to yours, to cheer up your hearts and souls. And we are in for a treat tomorrow Friday, Saturday, we have our 3 time intervals for our virtual cognitive day programming. And then we rest Sunday and then back Monday through Saturday. So feel free to tune in 10:30 a.m., 12:30 in the afternoon, and 2 o'clock in the afternoon for some brain ticklers and just overall brain staminas. And we're always delighted to have you, so feel free to show up anytime, and stay tuned for next Thursday's program. Can't wait to see you all, or type you all then, and just thanks a bunch for tuning in.